Hi, Nickles.
Hello, ma'am.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good too. So, what we have done today is that
Yeah, hi Nicholas. I will stop sharing my screen. You can share your screen and we'll start in a minute.
Yes, sir. I think I've already shared the screen. Can you all see it? Thank you.
Oh, that's by you. Okay. Yeah, we
Yeah.
can see that. Great. Thank you.
I can rehear Gaurav.
Can we start now?
Yes,
And
I'm ready from my side.
okay, just checking with the team. And can we start? And am I audible?
And Ela, let's wait for them to give us a go ahead.
Yeah, sure.
Nickles, you were the pioneering batch student here, right?
Yeah.
We have many students in Germany. We met Sanskruti and we had called
Yeah.
her to give us a go.
Yeah, I was also on that call that day with the Swati ma'am when she was here. She was nearby, but
Yeah,
unfortunately we couldn't meet.
yeah, August she was here.
Yeah, August, right. Uh,
Mhm.
was
We
somewhere in
now have
Alan.
Yeah. We now have six students, four from Symbiosis Skills and two from Symbiosis University of Applied Science in Aalen. And they are from the courses of CSIT, Digital, Media, Retail. Four students are from CSIT and they're doing
Yeah.
their exchange.
So Symbiosis has started an exchange program where students go from Symbiosis to maybe university here, right?
Yes, yes.
Is that okay? Maybe too late. I could have got this opportunity back then.
No, you're paving the way for others. We are very
Okay.
proud of you the, and your journey.
Yeah.
So Ela and Anne, we are waiting for you to give us a go ahead, but we are
Yeah,
just
yeah, just
checking. Yeah, just
students are here in the class, and I cannot show you them because it's a little lower over here. But they are all in the class together. They
so
are
can you tell
they
me?
can see you. Yeah,
Okay,
they can
great.
see.
So can you tell me what is this batch? Like which year is the batch? B.Tech, mechatronics, which year? And how many students are there? So that Nicholas has an idea that who is he talking to.
No problem. Like I trust. I have complete trust, so no issues.
No, but let's see कौन कितने बच्चे हैं और कौन है. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah.
इसमें वाईफाई डाले थे डाले थे हाँ
And I've asked that which course the students are in, which year, and how many of them are there in the class now.
अरे ऐप आहे माझं
You're on mute if you're trying to speak, and Ida, you can mute yourself.
Hello.
Batch 2 to 44 त्याच्यावर फिजिकल अटेंडन्स
Ida, please mute yourself.
तुमच्या आईने
To mute myself, and I'm going to stop my video.
Okay. Great.
Okay, I would like to give a little bit introduction at the starting. So can we start?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, sure. We can
How
start.
about you? How about you, Anne? Can I
Gaurav, let's
start?
begin. We can start.
Okay. Okay. All right. So hello everyone. I'm Gaurav from Center of Global Engagement, SSPU. It is my great pleasure to welcome you all for today's webinar. We organized this webinar for our students in Symbiosis Skills and Professional University, Pune, and Symbiosis University of Applied Science, Indore. We are truly delighted to have such an enthusiastic turnout from students and faculties. So thank you very much for taking time to join us. Today's session is particularly special as we have honor of hosting our today's guest, Mr. Nicholas. Mr. Nicholas is SSPU's alumnus of B.Tech in Automobile Engineering course, batch 2017 to 2021. He worked at Skoda Auto Volkswagen India Private Limited, Chakan, as a system developer from Jan 2022 to December 2023. He is currently in Germany studying a master course, International Automotive Engineering at Technische Hochschule Ingolstadt University, and currently working in Audi AG, Germany. His journey from being a student here to continuing education abroad is truly inspiring. Today, he will be sharing valuable insights about academic life in Germany, cultural and work experiences, and the opportunities and challenges for studying overseas. I encourage all the participants to listen actively, take notes, and make the most of Q&A session at the end. This is a wonderful chance to gain first-hand knowledge from someone who has successfully made this transition. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop in the chat box at any time. We will address them during the Q&A session. So without a further delay, I now invite Mr. Nicholas to take the virtual stage and begin the today's session. Thank you so much, and over to you, Mr. Nicholas.
Thank you very much, Gaurav, for this very brief and informative introduction. So let's begin. So we'll go through this session, and maybe at the end, all the questions you have, you can ask, and we can answer them. So first of all, let's start. I would like to start by saying Guten Tag, good morning, or I think it's afternoon over there. Good afternoon and namaste to all the senior members of Symbiosis present for this session, to all the faculty members, to all the management team, and last but not the least, my dear students. So, my name is Nickles Marisusai. I am alumni of Symbiosis Skills and Professional University Kivle, and today I am honored to share with you some of my experience and milestone which I have covered so far, which might help you all maybe in your upcoming journey. So I hope today after this session, everybody has something to take back and nobody goes empty handed. So let's quickly begin with the session. In case anytime you don't see the slide or audio is not, you can't hear me, just let me know. So moving with the first slide, so my current role and focus. So as briefly said in the introduction, I'm doing my master's at Technische Hochschule Ingolstadt, and Ingolstadt is a city close to Munich, and based on the city, there is a Technische Hochschule, a university, and there I am pursuing my master's degree in international automotive engineering, and currently I am in my semester. I'll be entering my fifth semester, and hopefully I'll be finishing my master's in the upcoming July. Apart from that, I am also working as a work student at the headquarters of Audi, which is in Ingolstadt, and since 1.5 years, I have been working in the electronics development team, working on displays and other technologies. So the project on which I'm working is development of test bench for LVDS system. So as I know, like all of you present here are engineers. So let's speak something about technology and take a minute to understand what it is shortly. So going to this topic. So everybody of you know that vehicles do have ECU. There are a lot of ECU inside a vehicle. And suppose if you want to send an image from the ECU to the display. So if you want to send a image, maybe an image of an apple from the ECU to the display. So generally the image of an apple has some pixel values over the display, and this pixel value you can't send all at once. So you use a hardware known as serializer. So basically what it does, it start taking each value from top left and start sending it in a sequence. So basically it takes a big frame, divides it into a chunk, and then send it to the over a cable to the display. And the display has a hardware known as deserializer. So the work of this hardware is to bring back again all these chunks into a frame and at once push the image on the display, and then you see the apple. So why am I telling all this to you? Because here the two hardware are called as LVDS system. And to understand this thing, development of test bench for LVDS system, first you might need to know what is LVDS. So currently I'm working on this topic, development of test bench. So here I am developing a lab model where we can actually test these hardwares so that it benefits us in future for the upcoming production model and upcoming displays, so that we test it beforehand and we don't encounter any error after sales. So that was a short introduction about the topic. So my area of work is display systems, CAN bus, video signal configuration. Video signal in the sense, whenever a video is sent to a display, there is a lot of background communication happening. So that kind of configuration, and then unified diagnosis system. Basically, a popular example for this is OBD, onboard diagnostics, you might have heard of, and also ISO TP protocol implementation, because just a second, I think something. Okay, so yeah, ISO TP protocol implementation, like CAN bus, or maybe UDS, like everything has a standard, international standard to follow, maybe a certain set of rules before you implement this kind of communication. So also the implementation of that comes in my area of work. And automation, here automation refers to machine learning and camera parts, where we try to automate it so that it detects some kind of error in the test scenarios. So just a short introduction about my current role. Let's move ahead with with a short summary of my past history. As said, I was a part of SSPU QLE, and from 2017 to 2021 batch, I was doing my bachelor's in automobile engineering, and not just like, it was a very fine experience there. I would say like the most appreciating part was the skill center, where we learned a lot of things which I still get in use in my day-to-day life. Apart from that, the theoretical knowledge was accompanied by the practical exposure which I got from the internships. I did one internship at Fiat India Automobile Private Limited and another one at Infinity X, which is the augmented reality company. So apart from that, after successfully completing my bachelor's, I worked at Skoda Auto Volkswagen India Private Limited. There I worked on digitalization of material handling equipments and fleet management system. So basically to digitalize and get track of all the MHE equipments and get the data centralized. So just to explain it in short. Apart from this, so far it is something maybe not that relevant to you. So let's move ahead and see something which might seem a bit interesting. So after completing 1 year at Skoda Volkswagen, I
I can hear some background noise. Can you please check if you're... Can I check that? Please check if you're...
okay. So yeah, let's continue. So let's continue to interesting thing. Maybe after working for 1 year at Skoda Volkswagen, I found like something is not matching up, like my interest, my profile, and I found a scope of improvement. And with that idea, I left my job at Skoda, and from January, I started preparing for going to masters. So first, in sequence, I gave IELTS exam, which is the English proficiency test. Then I gave also the Goethe Deutsch exam, level A2, and after that, I prepared the standard application procedures. The most notorious thing back then was the APS certificate, which was taking, I think, there was a lot of delay to get the certificate, and because of which there were high chances even I could have, extended one more semester because of it. But luckily, I got the APS certificate, and I was in a position to apply. Apart from this, there is one more document of Vorprüfungsdokumentation. It's VPD, popularly known as. You might need it in some applications, and rest was the visa process. So this is something which I faced 2 years back. There might be a lot of updates so far, so maybe I will also, maybe don't refer this slide fully, like always cross check what is latest going on currently. So I did all the procedures and I applied for 10 universities, and the result was shocking because from the 10 universities, positive response I got was only one, and it's the current university in which I'm studying. So after I applied for the universities, in a sequence I got rejection, and I almost got 8 rejection in a row, and there were only 2 response remaining. Both were in Technische Hochschule Ingolstadt, One was for engineering management and other was for international automotive. The day of result, I got one more rejection from engineering and management, and I was completely depressed and devastated. You know, the reason I'm sharing with you all this is because everybody faces this kind of moments where they are depressed, where they lose hope, and you don't, you're somehow you don't see anything ahead. And that was the point where I was also facing the same situation. I left a stable job and I started preparing for masters, and it has been already 6 months I was at home. So after, if I wouldn't have got this positive response, I didn't know what to do. But somehow, I don't know, God is great. I luckily got one positive response from Technische Hochschule, and I took it. So what I want you to take back from this slide is never lose hope. Maybe today also you might be facing some challenges in your bachelor's. Maybe you don't understand the curriculum. Maybe you find some difficulties, you failed some exams, and there will be a lot of things. But I know everybody of you has the feeling inside them, like even if 99 things are going wrong, there is 1% hope that everything would be positive at the end. And you should never lose that, because my life just changed with this one positive response. And yeah, I think somehow it was a destiny. And one more thing, what you learn from here is Germany, right from the beginning of the procedure of application, teaches you patience. You need to have a lot of patience. You need to face the rejections. You need to be upfront and motivated. So this was the beginnings of my application, and that's how I ended up here. So after I came here, so next slide, there was a lot of things which I underestimated right from the beginning. I told my parents before I left, like, okay, I'll go there. The course would be like, okay, I'll just pass the course. I'll find an apartment. I'll get a job. And yeah, I'll also start speaking German. And, everything just backfired at me in double measure. So finding an apartment as soon as I landed, it was very difficult and horrible situation, because in big cities it is easy, but in villages and small cities, you you don't get an apartment. It is difficult, and there are a lot of scams happening here. So also one of the tip I wanted to give you is, even if you're coming for Germany maybe next semester, uh, I would suggest take a hostel for the first month, stay in the hostel, and then in local start searching the apartment, because there are a lot of cases where they tell you to maybe send the amount of deposit, and then after you come they will give you the keys, but that doesn't happen. So be aware of these kinds of scam, and I would suggest it should always be like you give the money and you take the keys simultaneously, nothing before. So finding an apartment was difficult. The first thing I underestimated. Second thing, passing the exam. Now, the courses here are quite tough. Being in public university, I'm not talking about the private ones, but in public university, if you have taken a technical course, things are generally very tough, and things are generally very tough, and you need to study a lot, because just having knowledge is not enough. Here, to pass the exams, you need to prepare and train yourself for the exams. And don't get me wrong that I'm maybe every student. I was a good student back then. Even when I ended my bachelor's, my I think aggregate was 8.9 CGPA overall. And but the first semester, as soon as I came here, the first semester, first exam, I gave exams for 4 subjects and I failed in 3. So it was it was horrible, I would say, because um, things here are very upfront. It's not like you have written something, they will consider it. No, they expect some genuinity, some some there is some level you have to cross to pass the exam. It's not like you have written and filled the paper and you'll pass. Now these things could vary. Maybe you it depends upon the professor, how he wants to take the exam. Maybe he wants presentation, or maybe he wants calculation, maybe he want to set the paper some differently. So it completely depends. If it's something like presentation, okay, I think it is easy to go, but something like calculation and so on, it is challenging, and you need to study for that. One recommendation I have for this is, if you have got selected into a university and you have decided to take it, just connect yourself with some the seniors of your course, and try to maybe get some idea of your course before you reach here. In fact, if they are ready to share some documents or maybe some files related to the course, some course material, you can get a good idea before you reach here, because that is better. It saves some time, and after you come here, the first month is just wasted or somehow utilized in a lot of other things. So that you don't get a late start, I would recommend get connected to your seniors and try to get more idea on the course. So yeah, the second point. Now moving to the third point, finding a student job, internship, and thesis. This also I told my parents, okay, I'll get a job and I'll just, everything will be smooth. Again, it was wrong. A year, just to tell you all, finding a internship is easy. A thesis is moderately difficult, and working student or a student job is, I think, more difficult than the thesis. And just to give you an idea, the number of applications you need to do to get an internship, it generally varies from student to student, but on an average, it is 100 to 200 applications you need to do. And there will be maybe you could be selected by one interview, or maybe you're giving 10, 12 interviews and still you don't get a positive response. So things like this do happen. I'm talking about internship. If you go for thesis, then the number increases, and for work student it increases more. And now you might also be thinking, like, what about full-time job? Trust me on this. For full-time jobs, last year the situation was very difficult. Some of our fellow mates applied more than 1,000 companies, more than 1,000, 1,500 applications, and still they were facing difficulty to get a job. Last year, the situation was horrible. The economy somehow shrink down and it went in negative. This year, the situation is okay. It's growing steadily, but yeah, maybe by the time you're here, it could be good. Let's hope for the best. But yeah, be prepared to stay motivated, have the patience again. And here, Germans are quite upfront, and they are they are also a bit, you can consider, slow. Like, I won't say they are slow, but the procedure here takes some time. So it might take 2 months to process your application and give response to you. So it takes some time. A best tip I would give to you is, prepare before you come here. Maybe one thing I also did was, in my Excel document where I was listing my university, I also made an additional column of companies, like whatever university I'm applying, the location, and what companies are there. And in my list now also, in Ingolstadt, I have mentioned the companies like Audi, Schaeffler, and others. So it helps. It helps you to maybe somehow prepare on where you are going and what you have to do, and maybe even if you can prepare your resume before coming here, and after you come here, from the first month you start applying, it would be beneficial for you. Apart from, and it doesn't like, there might be some other cases like, okay, you don't want to work, first you want to study, and then maybe, but at the end you will be applying for full-time jobs. So if you are looking in that direction, so you need to get some exposure before that, like internship, work student. So somehow it is applicable for everyone. So apart from this, the last thing which I underestimated was speaking German. um, I told my parents, okay, I'll go there, I'll be in the environment, and I will learn how to speak German. Again, it failed, because the speed at which they Yeah, I think there's some question. Okay, thank you. So the speed and the pace at which they speak German is different. The accent is different. You can't catch their words, and yeah, I'm still struggling with it. So if you could get a chance to learn German and come, it would be the best because you are somehow reducing the burden to learn German after coming here. So yeah, these are some things which I underestimated and it backfired very badly. So let's move ahead. Okay. Yeah. So the interesting question: how did I finally made it to Audi? So first of all, after coming here, like before coming here, I had a different mindset. In my bachelor's, I was mostly targeting knowledge-based learning. Like, okay, I had knowledge, I apply, I give exams, I score good. I like overall I have the knowledge, but this didn't help me to get a job after that. After completing my bachelor's, the situation that time was very horrible due to COVID and the pandemic. So 6 months I couldn't get a job, and after 6 months somehow I got an opportunity at Skoda Volkswagen and I started my career. So this time I had decided from the beginning, like after I am here, I'll this time not be targeting the numbers or the knowledge. I'll straight away go to the practical stuff. So the first thing I did after coming to Germany, after joining my university, is joined the Formula student team of my university. So this helped me to get practical exposure on Canvas, display, Raspberry Pi, and other transceivers. And after that, after 4 months of being here, I started applying for internship opportunity, and I got selected at Audi. And just to mention, the number of applications I did was 86, including technical and non-technical. The first positive response I got was from DHL. And just to share a short experience with you, um, when I went at the day of interview, it was in Munich. I traveled to Munich and I went there. And as soon as I entered the room, the lady who was there, I asked her, okay, I've come here for an interview, and I asked her in English, and she replied to me in German and very fast. I said her, can she please repeat in English? And the answer she gave in English was, you don't know Deutsch? Okay, then maybe you don't have an interview today. You can go back and maybe learn German and then come to the interview. We will have some space still for you. So she didn't even allow me to sit there, and I just, you know, I went back. So as I said, things are quite upfront here, and I didn't feel bad about it because I knew like there's a long way to go. So I took that day as a picnic to Munich. Like, okay, it was like a picnic. I went to Munich and I came back. But yeah, that was the first rejection I got. And the second application was Audi, and I was selected there. So it would be incomplete if I don't uh, appreciate here that I want to sincerely thank Symbiosis Skills and Professional University. Reason, whatever skill I gained from there, maybe skill center, the curriculum, maybe faculty member, to mention Dr. Ganesh Lohar, he used to teach us vehicle electronics, covering a lot of basic foundation of CAN protocol, and Professor Dr. Sumit Dubal, he used to also take a very informative skill session related to automotive fundamentals. So these all, whatever we did in our skill center, helped a lot. Just to mention, I still remember there was in the vehicle electronics lab, we have a lot of electronic setup, the door trim of Volkswagen, where we do a skill of entering some number and the window just makes a move. So I just want to tell you, you whatever you are doing there, you're very close to the industry level knowledge. It's just that you need to go one or two steps more deep. Like for the example of the door window, you enter some numbers and the window moves. So basically what you do that is you enter some data and the software just converts it into a CAN frame, and that's how things work. So if you just try to understand, even in the skill center, whatever there are equipments, just the end-to-end process, what is happening in the background, I would guarantee you that you will be in a better position to get a job maybe after you come here. Because yeah, it's whatever we have in our skill center is quite helpful, and I think all the students should utilize it at the best. So apart from that, I prepared myself very well for the interview because like I started my internship last year in June. I finished it in December, and now my contract is extended as a working student. And whatever I do now, I've come so far that I realized like whatever knowledge I had back then was nothing. Like even I told this to my manager, like, what was the reason you hired me? Because I consider myself as a fool back then, because whatever I'm doing currently is way beyond. And the answer he gave was he saw some confidence in me that I could be able to do it. So here I realized in interview process, it is not just you have knowledge or you have some certifications or something, but it is always also something like convincing the interviewer, like you could do the things if there are some challenges or something which will come up. Is there any question? Okay, thank you. So yeah, there are the point here is convincing the interviewer, like, okay, you can do it, and that maybe your body language or how you explain the things, or how maybe it's a different kind of skill. I think we also have IDSC sessions. Maybe you can even polish that kind of skills there. So yeah, the point is convincing the interviewer. Coming to the last point, honesty and high motivation. So here honesty, because Germans are very smart people. They like, even if you write some fake experience or fake things, or you bloat your resume with a lot of things and you show them, they understand the moment they start talking to you. And so it's very necessary for you to be honest with yourself on the resume and be very precise. um, just want to share an incident with you on this. Like at the start of my internship, we were actually dealing with some problem with the signals, and I didn't had complete idea on what is happening, but just for the sake of suggestion, I gave them a suggestion. Okay, if we would have an oscilloscope, we would have seen something. And I didn't realize that after 5 minutes, there was a big oscilloscope on my desk, size of a carton, and I didn't had any idea about it. So, and please don't ask me what I did after that, because yeah. So the thing I want to say express here is Germans are very upfront, and if you are, they they assume that you are very honest to them, and whenever you suggest or you say like, okay, I can go to the moon, they will just wait for you to, okay, they'll believe like you can go, and they will surely support you for that. So always never, that's what I'm about to say, never bloat your promises or your resume too much that it somehow it you land up in a problem. Apart from that, high motivation, as I said, you need to do a lot of applications, and you need to have patience to get a positive response. And not just for the for the application part, but in Germany generally. If I give you an example, currently you are doing bachelor's, and the motivation you have is, one is some active motivation which you get within yourself. Maybe you want to become something or something like that. And another one is a passive motivation which you get looking around yourself. Maybe there is a skill assignment or some practical assignment you have to do. It is given to you, but you don't do it, and as soon as you see others doing it, you also start doing it. So this is a kind of passive motivation which you get from your environment. But something like this you lose as soon as you are in Germany, because first of all, uh, you don't see that kind of group or people in a large number around you. So you might have not have any clue about the exam or submission or anything is coming up. There's the exam timetables are out. So you need to, and there are a lot of times that you are maybe stuck in some problem. There are heavy bureaucracy procedures here. Anything you do needs a contract. You need to reply to some letters and so on and so forth. So you need to keep yourself motivated everywhere, because frankly speaking, nobody will come to help you or even motivate you. As I said, passive motivation, now you can have it around yourself, but here you won't have it. So that was all for this slide. Moving ahead. Yes. So my tips to you all. First of all, always be aware of the landscape or the platform which is around you. Now, after going through this session, some of the students might think, okay, if we go through this skill set, we might get a job. But it depends. Just to give you an example, now there might be some students who want to come immediately to masters in Germany as soon as they are finished with the bachelor's. But there might be some students who want to stay back, do job there, come after maybe 2 3 years, or maybe they are not sure about it. But the thing is, always be aware of the platform which is around you, whether it be India or Germany. If you're staying back in India, whatever skill set I told you, if you say, okay, Nicholas, I have gone through all this skill set, now I'm looking for a job in India, I would say you won't get it, because India being a market for manufacturing and production, there are, I'm not saying there are no jobs for research and development, but there are very few, which makes the competition even difficult. So either the seats would be limited, or you need to have you know huge experience or high skill set to get that kind of positions. So uh, if you compare the same thing here the investment is heavily in research and development. So if you come with even minimum skill set like these, you are in a good position to get a chance to work in big companies. Yeah. So that's the thing. Always be aware the environment around you. India is currently also flourishing in maybe technology like chipset and other things. Just few months back, there was a breakthrough of 28 nanometer chip, which I think um the Indian companies are currently working on. So it's always good to get information like these, because nobody wants to be jobless or without any opportunity after you're done. So how to drive your next options or next upcoming options, you need to be aware of that. So yeah, be aware of it. India or maybe Germany, wherever you are going, what kind of companies are there, what could be the opportunities there. Even in Germany, my city has a lot of companies, but maybe some cities like Hof or any other cities, there might be no companies. So you need to calculate everything before you select a university, or you however you plan. Apart from this, my second tip would be prepare your resume and company list. Now your company list is whichever city you are coming, just prepare a list of companies which are present in that city. Maybe try to look out for um, your field of interest, and try to check what skill set are required to get a position or internship in that company. And a lot of my batchmates, fellow mates, students come to me um, every week regarding resume and application, and the first thing I ask them is, what is your interest? And it is the same question which I'll be asking you now, like, what is your interest? Because based on your interest, first you can decide, okay, if this is my interest, this are the skill set I need to have. Because automotive is a big domain. You can't just say like you're an automobile engineer and you want to work in automobile industry. Even if you want to work in electronics department, you have to be very specific. Okay, electronic department, you have to work on maybe some signal processing, or maybe not signal processing, maybe communication part, or maybe you don't want to work in electronics, you want to work in autonomous driving. So in autonomous driving also only the software part, software in loop, maybe not software in loop, maybe hardware integration, something like that. Always be precise and very specific, because that's what you will be reflecting back in your resume, and that's how you will be getting selected. For example, even if you do something in your bachelor's, like on CAD or Adams, something like that, don't just mention Adams in your resume. Mention what you did there. Maybe you created a cam follower model. So write there, cam follower model using Adams, and maybe some, some in some other more, in some way, like it impacts more your work rather than just writing software names. So the first thing is find your interest. Now, most of you don't get an answer for these questions. Even I didn't had an answer for this question till the time I finished my bachelor's. I found it after my bachelor's, after 1 year working, that what I want and what I want to do. So for you, I could say, even if like in mathematics, generally, if you don't know, if you don't know value, we generally assign variables to it, maybe a, b, c, x, y. So for this question of your career, I would say assume a variable. Start by taking any topic close to you. Okay, start with one. If you don't like it, after some day, maybe change it. So, but at least you will know, like, where is your interest, how you're driving your career. But I would say the sooner you start this, the better it is, because at least 6 months before you graduate, I would recommend 6 months before that, you should know what you want to do. And that 6 months, every day for 10 or 20 minutes, practice a skill which could help you to get a job. To give you an example, maybe you want you want to go be a machine learning engineer. Okay, so if you have decided that, maybe 6 months before you pass out, every day 20 minutes you practice programming, you try to learn new libraries, you try to update yourself, polish yourself. If you do this every day 20 minutes, I guarantee you after 6 months you will be a better position to get a job, maybe in India or maybe here as well. Why I'm telling this, it is important to have awareness about the situation. Basically, we don't get that kind of awareness until we are graduated. Generally, we get the awareness when after graduating. From the first day we are sitting at home, at that time we get this kind of awareness. So I would suggest, please don't please avoid this kind of situation for yourself in the future. So third point, uh, yeah, as I said, get in touch with your seniors, take ideas about the course, and as much you could get from there, some documents, some PDF, so that you are pre-prepared, because 1 month you will be somehow, it will be wasted here there understanding some things, looking for apartment, registration, so on and so forth. There are a lot of formal procedures here, so I would suggest be be one step ahead and try to prepare yourself beforehand. Coming to the next point, always respect time before money. Now, this is an interesting thing. It's not just about time and like being punctual at work and respecting somebody else's time, but I've seen after students come here, they generally they do part-time jobs, maybe technical, maybe non-technical, and in the time of vacation, they convert that, like in the time of vacation in August, like summer vacation, August and September, like the government allows you to work full time as well, and your working hours are somehow not counted. So if you go according to the visa, either you can, as a student, you can work 6 months full time, or maybe one full year part time. So that's why a working student is one of the most popular option because you get a contract for the year and it's smooth, but it's difficult to get. So yeah, back to the topic. Yeah, students, what they do, they in this holidays they work full time to earn money, and the biggest thing they are losing is time, because this time they can utilize for gaining new skills, learning language, trying to integrate more, and maybe money could solve your problem in short term, but for the long term of and survival, you need to have skills and a lot of other things. So always respect time before money. Next point, avoid unnecessary trouble. Maybe traveling on the train, always have your ticket. Don't show any careless behavior, maybe while you travel, loudly talking on a phone or anything, because here there will be a lot of other problems you will be facing. So other challenges like courses there, your maybe your internship is there. You have to cook food. You have to uh, some other bureaucracy stuff, something. So there will be a lot of things already. So avoid unnecessary trouble. How do I do it? Basically, I keep my schedule very busy, so I don't have time for any other nonsense things. So don't get me wrong, like uh, I am a socialized person, but I think there is a lot of time to wander everywhere, maybe to go here and there and this and that and some events and so on. Because I've seen students, they come here, they are enjoying their holidays in some other country, they are going here and there, but this not just cost you time, but somehow it you lose your dedication. And there are high chances now, looking at the dynamics of the country, in some region the situation is not good. So it's better to avoid unnecessary trouble in some places. And coming to the next point, most important, if you ask me what is the most important thing before you can prepare before coming to Germany, I would say knowledge. Like some might think it would be knowledge, like you can gain some knowledge. It is good. Having knowledge is good. Experience is also good. But even if you don't have knowledge and experience, the most important thing is you should know the language, because here they are ready to adjust on these part a bit. But if you know German, they will immediately, you know, they will hire you, because for them, they want to make you understand the things, and that is only possible in German. Most of them prefer German. Um, Apart from this, one more tip: uh, digitalization is currently flourishing in Germany. So Germany is was not that developed in terms of digitalization, and you also see in the job market around here. Even if you are someone who is targeting maybe management kind of a job, maybe a balance of both, still you might need to have some skills which are related to digitalization, maybe Power BI, maybe Tableau, Power Automate, or something like that. Because now everywhere in all the industries, digitalization is happening. So some of a lot of them ask me like which language or programming language they should learn, or is it even necessary to learn programming language? I would say try to learn um, any language which you could learn, any programming language, but not just learning the language is enough. Try to use it with some kind of applications like Power BI or Power Automate or something like that. So that whatever you do, it is it is industrial ready and industrial worthy, so that you can get an internship. Apart from this, some insights from the automotive industry. Currently, the automotive industry is struggling due to the economy, but as I said, hopefully by the time you are here, things are better. This year, it is projected to the GDP to go somewhere around 1.2, which is a stable growth, and next year might be in the second quarter it could reach 2.5 or 3. 3 is a very stable number as far as Germany is concerned. So if the GDP is stable, you can get job and everything is just good. And regarding automotive, the shift of Europe is currently towards electric vehicles. So if I say the term electric is increasing in a vehicle, so that means more electronics, more programming, more software. So somehow try to adapt these kinds of skill, because if you are too rigid to adapt the change, you might find it difficult. Maybe you say, okay, I have in my bachelor's I have done design, I have done CAD, I have done engine and other things, powertrain. So after you come here, you see things are shifting to electric. So you might find it difficult to switch or get opportunities. I'm not saying it will go obsolete, but if things are having a shift, it affects the job market for sure. Now, and at the end, bonus tip, AI. So 5 years before, this term was popularly used in movies, and now you can see it around like ChatGPT and all other things. But if you talk specifically, which country has flourished a lot in AI, that is USA. So why am I talking about Germany and how AI is significant here? Currently, Germany is lagging behind in terms of AI, but for the students who are planning to come 2 to 3 year down the lane, maybe second year students. So for them, this might be useful because AI is something which will be the upcoming or the developing technology in after some days, as USA has grown a lot. So maybe other countries are also growing, and whatever technology uh, comes into the market, it has, if it is developing, it has a very high demand. So if something is in demand, there will be a lot of hiring, and if you have some knowledge about it, there are high chances you will get hired. So consider this as a long term plan. Not this is not something hard and proved, but it is good. Maybe you have some idea on this term AI, not just programming, but you can have this term in your own domain. Like AI could be in mechatronics, in automotive, in robotics, automation, everywhere. So if you could get some hands on this topic, it is always like it won't give you a loss, but advantage in the future. So moving to the next slide. So my final verdict. So I have two final verdict from my side, which I want to share with you. The first is nothing replaces hard work. So why I'm saying this, because whatever I've shared with you, this might reduce your burden after coming here. Like it might make the situation easy, but still there are a lot of things in which you have to work hard. And if you ask me, my definition of hard work, I would say, for example, in your batch there are 100 students. So if you tell like you're doing or working what 70% of the students are doing, so I would say that is not a hard work. If you're able to do what 95% students couldn't, and 5% students are struggling, and you are in that 5%, I would say uh, that is the hard work. And you can take it this way. Maybe the competition around you, it always gives you a reality check. So that's how I look into things. Like if most of the peoples are not able to do these kind of things, and I am able to uh, work extra mile to achieve that, then I can consider it as a hard work. Or else this is always counted as uh, average work, and I don't think it would be fruitful. Again, it's my own definition. It depends. You can argue on this, and it might not be like 100% again hard proved, but this is my own definition, and I go by it. And so far, it has always given me a lot of good results. Apart from this, my second verdict will be I want you all, like all of you students to have one quality which I didn't had back then, 4 years before, when I was sitting like this in the auditorium in the classroom, attending lectures, motivation speakers like this. So there was one quality I was missing, and that was the courage, the courage to dream big. Okay, so yes, so where were we? Yes, my second final verdict is have courage to dream big, because I was, if this question has been asked to me 4 or 5 years before, when I was sitting in the auditorium, in the classroom, in the university at SSPU, like, will you be able to go to Germany? I would have said, no, that is something impossible. Will you be able to work in the headquarters of Audi? I would have said, no, that is something out of my league. But yeah, I had somehow hope, but not a courage to dream big. But I want to tell you all that always have courage to dream big, because in the future, if you in the future you will look back and see, like, somehow in the past you were writing your destiny by your hands. So, and as far as I've heard from all the faculty members and other management team, the batch is quite brilliant now, and there are a lot of bright students. So my expectation is you will shine even bright after you come here. Maybe not even Audi, something more bigger than Audi, like Rolls Royce or something like that. And yeah, I think you will one day, like, as I am giving this kind of I'm sharing my experience with you all. Maybe next time you all will be here sharing your experience with the a more younger batch, and you know that is how it goes. It's always the gratitude which you give back to the place where you have learned from and where you have gained your knowledge. So that is my final thought for you all, and I would like to thank, first of all, my parents, my auntie, my sister, and my family members, without whom I would have not been anywhere here. Because of their support, whatever I am today is because of their support. The second, if there is a second, if there is someone who comes second after that, is my mentor, my gurus, teachers, faculty members, Symbiosis University, my master's university, and other people who supported me throughout this journey. Last but not the least, all the batchmates, all the students who are part of this journey, they maintained a very healthy competition. Somehow we could learn from each other every day. And finally, I would like to thank the management team of Symbiosis, that they gave me this opportunity to share my experience with you all. In a way, it seems like, whatever small achievement it is, uh, when you share something like this, it feels like everybody is a part of this achievement. So you feel happy about it. So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity, and surely next year, if I'm back to India, I would really like to again visit offline and maybe share new experiences with you all. So thank you very much, and after this, I think we could be open for questions.
Yeah, thank you very much, Nicholas, for the wonderful presentation. So as the students are gathered in the classrooms, so we request students to submit their questions to our team, and then we will get back to you, Nicholas, with more questions if there are any.
Mhm.
At the moment, we have some time limitation. So,
Okay.
as we come to the
Okay.
end of this,
Mhm.
insightful and inspiring webinar, I would like to take a moment to express our heartfelt gratitude. And first and the foremost, a sincere thank you to you, Mr. Nicholas. We are grateful for the time and the efforts you took to connect with our students and share opportunities, that can shape their future. Uh, to all students and the faculty members, thank you very much for your enthusiastic participation, your presence, your attention, and your, queries that you will definitely submit to us. That will, it actually made this session encouraging and meaningful. Actually, I request all students to, fill the feedback form, which is I'm going to share it right now in the chat box. Give me a second. Second.
Thanks so much, Nicholas. It
Yes.
was
Welcome.
wonderful
So
to hear you.
yeah, I
Just to
hope everybody
be
can.
sure, did I exceed the time limit somehow? I'm sorry. Like if that
No,
was.
no, no problem. It was actually so wonderful, to hear your experiences. The experience is all that matters to us because you can't get anywhere. Just everything you can get on Google and ChatGPT. So that was amazing. So thank you very much. So we hope today's session has inspired new ideas, and opened the new doors for the future possibilities. Let us carry forward this learning from today to continue and stay motivated in our academic and professional journeys. So thank you once again, everyone, and have a great day ahead. Thanks to
Yeah.
all.
Thank you. Bye. Have
Bye.
a good day.
Bye. Good day.